Welcome viewers to Brooksby TV channel 919 Catchers 2020, EyeCatchers 2020. Today we're focusing on our low vision group and we're including all residents. We are very, very fortunate to have with us Stu Flom, the AdaptiVision founder and president. And as AdaptiVision's founder and president, he is dedicated to applying advanced lighting technology to help people who are struggling with low vision, teaching them how to use technology and how they can achieve greater independence. As a lighting industry specialist, Stu Flom worked at Dollar Jenner, a leader in fiber optic lighting, for 15 years before he launched his own company in 1994. As product manager, Stu helped find lighting solutions for clients in such diverse areas as photography, microscopy, robotics, and automotive factoring. We are very, very fortunate to have Stu with us, and we're going to start as soon as I ask the first trivia question, which will be answered at the end. And the first trivia question is, what is the date of Helen Keller's birthday? When the date that she was born. Welcome, Stu, and the stage is yours.
Okay, thank you very much, Carol. I appreciate the opportunity to speak to the folks at Brooksby and especially those with low vision. But frequently, as you mentioned, I have a background in lighting. And when I did lighting for robotics in the automotive industry, and then got involved with assistive technology for people with low vision, one thing that hit me was that we are doing better lighting for robots than we do for people. And lighting is just so critical. Even if you're not visually impaired, people just don't pay enough attention to lighting. If you're working in a room and you're using your overhead lighting, you're only getting about 12.5% of that light on what you're trying to look at. So task lighting is critical. And I have on my desk, which I use all the time, this light, which is called a Stella task lamp. And the cool thing about this is it's not even plugged in. It's a rechargeable lamp. It will hold a charge for 11 hours. And it addresses the issues of control, which is what we were doing with automation in the automotive industry, which means very uniform lighting, the ability to angle the light where you want it to go, the ability to change the color spectrum. We have 3 different color spectrums, and we have 10 intensity levels.
That's fascinating. Is it just regular AA batteries, or how do you recharge?
There's actually a charging disc that you place it on. The other cool thing is when you place it on a charging disc and you're not using the disc, you can throw your smartphone on there as well. It will charge your smartphone also. So it's very cool, very light. You can move it from place to place. And I always like to talk about lighting first because it's just so important.
That's fascinating. Is that on retail markets too, or is it only by you?
Yeah, I mean, it's my company sells these lights. You can find it on Amazon, but I think you'll find the best prices on AdaptiVision. My website is lowvisionsource.com. So
thank you.
Yeah, sure. So the other thing I like to talk about starting out is talking about an optical magnifier. So this is an optical magnifier. It's a Optelec PowerMag magnifier. Many people benefit from these, especially in the early stages of low vision loss. But as your vision gets worse, what tends to happen, especially if you have central vision loss like macular degeneration, you need to, you start out with a fairly large diameter magnifier, but as you increase the magnification, you reduce the diameter and increase the curvature, so that if you have central vision loss, an optical magnifier at some point may not be that helpful. It may be okay for a little bit of spot reading, but not for significant reading. And so that can become a problem. And that's why at that point, electronic solutions or assistive technology could make more sense than an optical device. So
that's absolutely fascinating, because even people without vision problems would benefit from those types of equipment.
Right. Absolutely. Absolutely. So, yeah. So the next one I'd like to talk about, we'll kind of jump to something much more technically advanced. This device is called the OrCam MyEye 2 Pro. And what OrCam does, it works differently in that. So I'm connected to an external speaker so everyone can hear, but I mount this on a magnetic mount on the side of any pair of eyeglasses. And I can take a document like this, and all I need to do is looking for my fingernail. I point towards the document.
Growing old is mandatory. Growing up is optional. Forget the health food. I need all the preservatives I can get. You're getting old when you get.
If I want to stop it, I just block the text with my hand. So it can
do that again.
Sure.
Do that again.
Sure. Okay. So I have a page of text here. I just bring my index finger in towards the text. I hear a beep. I remove my finger, and it will start reading.
Growing old is mandatory.
Reading the text.
Growing up is optional. Forget the health food. I need all the preservative.
If I want to navigate around the text, if I leave my finger in one place, it will read above where my finger is.
1. Living on Earth is expensive, but it does include a free trip around the sun every year.
So not only does it do reading, but it's very smart. So I can do a number of other things. If I want to know the time, just look at my wrist.
The time is 3:17 p.m. Today is Thursday, June 9th, 2022.
Let me put my light back on. It will read barcodes. So I have Jello right here.
Jello berry blue flavor gelatin dessert.
Need to wear my sunscreen all the time.
Neutrogena Ultra Sheer Sunscreen Broad Spectrum SPF 55.
If I am out and about and I want, some people with low vision really struggle with trying to figure out currency. So all I do is I look at the currency.
$1.
And it'll tell me what it is. So pretty amazing.
What about reading books?
So it works great for reading books. So this technology actually started about 30 years ago. Many people know the name Ray Kurzweil. He invented the first Kurzweil reader. The first device was the size of a large copying machine, would take forever to scan and read back a document. And now the technology has gotten incredible. So you saw how fast it is. So reading a book, it's like within less than a second, it will convert that text to speech and start reading the page to you. And if you're reading a paperback, it will actually it will scan the two pages simultaneously and read those pages.
What about if you're in a crowd?
Yes.
And there's a lot of external noise and you're at a dinner table, say,
okay,
and you have a hard time following the conversation.
Okay.
What can you do in order to enhance the person being able to enjoy the dinner with people? Well,
it's not so much a hearing device, but what it can do. So this is Bluetooth enabled. I actually have it connected to a Bluetooth speaker so everyone can hear. But typically you have that speaker right towards your ear, and because it's Bluetooth enabled, it will also pair with certain Bluetooth hearing aids as well as earbuds. So that can give you discretion and privacy when you're using it. If you're in a place like Brooksby and you're maybe in the library or whatever, and you brought your bills down or whatever, you don't want other people to know your personal, information. So it's a way of having complete discretion, listening or not bothering other people as well. When you're doing that type of thing. And not only will it read printed text, it will read off a screen, a smartphone, or read signs. And then it has something called smart reading, where I can actually take a newspaper. Let's see if I have one here. And it will read, I can tell it to do certain things. So I can say, hey, OrCam, smart reading.
Note that some of the text was unreadable. Ready.
Read headlines.
Found one headline. Union leader ban on mask mandates in schools draws supportive crowd.
Read dates.
Found one date. Thursday, March 31st, 2022. I am listening.
Exit.
Exiting.
So I can do other things, like I can say read second article, start reading with COVID-19, for example. That's part of this article. And it will start right there. It also will do certain orientation things where I can ask it what's in front of me, and it will tell me what's in front of me. It will do facial recognition, where you can teach it faces. And when that person walks into your field, it will tell you who that person is. So
you have sold me. Absolutely. So this is, I'll buy it all.
Okay. It's truly amazing technology. So this is the wearable version. There's another version, which is a handheld version, which does just the reading, but you could talk to it. It will do the smart reading and that type of thing. It kind of looks like a pen here. So pretty amazing technology. And just so I want everyone to know, I'm going to be speaking to the low vision group at Brooksby on July 18th, where people will have the opportunity to really try these things, because it's hard when I'm especially doing a Zoom type thing like this to really.
I think that's fabulous. But I also think that maybe we should invite the resident population, because there are so many people that could take advantage of this, not just the totally low vision.
Yes, yeah, I'd love to do that. And typically, especially in a place like Brooksby, somebody is related to somebody with vision loss or something like that. So yes, I agree. Absolutely.
Is there another one that you want to show us before I take a...
Sure. So I have some wearable devices, and I understand these are wearable video devices. So I understand Sam from eSight already did a presentation, and I work closely with eSight, but this is an eSight wearable device, which will enlarge what you're looking at. You're looking through the lenses and seeing two screens in front of you, and you can increase or decrease your magnification. Works well for television, for going out and about, watching a sporting event or a play, or going to a museum. So I have several different versions of these wearables. Some are called AR devices, or augmented reality, like this, and others are called VR, which stands for virtual reality. They look more like the gaming goggles that people might be familiar with. So that's an option. Then I have several different portable devices. I also still do a fair amount with desktop units, because some people benefit from them. But this one is called the Luna 6. It's very thin, very light. Let me just turn this on here. I can pull out this handle. Let's see here. So I can do this type of thing. I could change the background as well. Some people, as I mentioned, lighting and contrast is so important. Some people see better with different backgrounds. Super light. The resolution on this is incredible, and trying to show this to you through a camera through Zoom doesn't do it justice in terms of the image quality. And then I have...
wait, let me take one short break for our vision tip.
Sure.
Residents Keep in mind that healthy habits like eating well and being active can lower your risk for diseases and conditions that can lead to eye vision problems, diabetes, or high blood pressure. That's the health tip for the day. Stuart, back to you.
Okay, so let me try to show you another device. I'm going to kind of switch cameras here, see if this works. Just, there we go. So this one is called the Compact 10 HD Speech. So it gives me the ability of a video magnifier with a 10-inch screen. But the other cool thing I can do with this is I can take a document, and it also does the OCR function. I have this swing out arm on this camera here. And I could take a picture of the text. Try to read some of this. So it's not quite as fast as the OrCam, but it's going to take a picture of the text, and it should start reading that text back to me.
Lee Chief Glory of the Garden, said Mabel Sedgwick in her seminal book, The Garden Month by Month, which features her renowned chart lower colors, now on display in the library of the main house. So the cool thing is it also is displaying what is being read, and you could change the magnification on that as well. And it's a pretty, let me just change my camera again. It's fairly small and light and easy to carry around. So it has a 10-inch screen, and it has
How much does it weigh?
It weighs about, I want to say about 2 pounds. So pretty light.
Yeah.
And again, another one of these rechargeable devices. So it works pretty well. And it has a distance capability. So if I'm trying to look around, I can do that also. And it has that swing out arm, which works well for both the text to speech function as well as doing things like handwriting. You have plenty of working distance for that, or doing a craft or something like that. It can be very helpful.
I have to tell you, you've been in this business for a while. Where are you located?
So I'm in Linfield, so I'm pretty close to Brooksby. Okay. I was hoping to get in the studio today, but maybe another time. But yeah.
But you're okay. But what I want the residents to know is that you are coming here in person on July 18th to show people, to show residents your equipment and your technology. Absolutely. And I encourage people to come. I am just so impressed. And the second thing, you have a lowvisionsource.com, where that's Stu's website, where you can actually see the products and order products if you want online. Is that correct?
That is correct.
So in preparation for Stu coming, look at the website, lowvisionsource.com. As soon as we get through here, I'm going to go look myself, because I think technology is so important, and you have taken it perfectly to help people with problem seeing. It's fabulous.
Thank you, Carol. The other thing I'd like to mention, when you check out my website, if you click on the Facebook icon on the bottom, we are posting, my daughter Bethany actually works with me, and she is posting low vision life hacks, which are, low vision helpful hints, about 3 times a week. And she has posted some really good ones. So I think people will find some basic, simple things that you can do just to make your life easier and also safer. And, those things are.
How does the general public, I never even knew this existed. How do you get to the general public, into schools and areas where people desperately need what you provide?
That's a great question. And it has been a source of frustration, because you would think that the gatekeepers are the doctors, the eye care specialists, the retina specialists. Right. But, our society is such that people are so specialized that MDs want to do their thing, and they really, not everyone, I don't want to paint too broad of a brush, but many doctors just are too busy to really understand enough about technology that they could help point their patients in the right direction. And so one thing I do when I speak to low vision support groups, I tell people, you are the advocates. You have to make people at Brooksby aware. Often we talk about lighting and lighting and places like Brooksby. I was at Linden Ponds a couple of weeks ago, and people were complaining about the lighting there. And I said, you have to be the advocates. You have to tell the administration that these are important things, But it is sometimes hard to get the word out about assistive technology. And we keep trying. We keep trying. We do a lot on social media and other types of things.
And, are you on cable television in different communities? Can you do that?
I have not done a whole lot with cable television, but that's a great idea. That really is. We have found that social media has been pretty effective. Through Facebook and other things. We've done a fair amount of videos. I've done, video training on certain products. And through COVID, I have found that, we have been, like everyone has found, Zoom has been more effective than you would think that it would be. So it's been helpful.
Now, how large is your company?
So we are a two-person operation. We're not extremely large, but we also partner with we partner with certain doctors and certain rehab facilities, that type of thing. But yeah.
I'm just surprised that low vision is such a problem across the country, and especially because the demographics are changing and people who are older have much more need for technology.
Yeah, and absolutely.
Treatment for macular degeneration and many different types of eye concerns is paramount so that people can grow older and still take part in society. Yeah. So why doesn't anybody else understand that?
I totally agree, Carol. It's frustrating as a low vision person. Because the technology is awesome. I've been doing this 28 years, and to see how far things have advanced, it's just phenomenal. To see OrCam, for example, and how smart this device is, it's just incredible. So I agree. And, some people are concerned about the price. The price on some of these items, they can be expensive, but it's all relative. If you have to pay for a pair of hearing aids, you're going to pay a fair amount of dollars for hearing aids.
That's right.
It's truly a cost benefit analysis in terms of, what you're investing and what you get back in terms of your independence is just incredible. So, yeah.
Yeah, it's interesting because hearing, supposedly the hearing aids keep advancing too because of technology. Right. But, and people seem to be quicker to get a hearing aid than to get something to help their vision.
I totally agree. Now, I think the hearing aid industry maybe has done a better job of getting the word out. I don't know, but I agree. I agree, and I'm all ears if you have any suggestions. I think the important thing is really partnering with visually impaired people. People throughout all spectrums, teachers, occupational therapists, doctors that are receptive, everyone is looking at it from a different perspective. So
I know, but it would seem that it would make some sense for these opticians or these ophthalmologists. It's like a no-brainer, isn't it?
That's what we have always thought. But I've been doing this a long time, and especially retina specialists are, in fairness to them, they are so busy trying to do their thing to take on something else. But the frustrating part is they can just point people to answers, to devices that can really help their patients.
Yeah. Oh, well, please don't stop doing what you're doing. I think I am so thoroughly impressed that you have just taken the technology and have developed and produced equipment that can serve many, many different people in many, many different places. That's a tribute to you.
Well, thank you. I'm a distributor of these products, but I love doing what I do. It really is wonderful. And to see the difference that it makes in a person's life. And also we have some funny stories too. I'll tell you a funny story about a blind lady who bought an OrCam device. So she wanted to learn all about the facial recognition because she couldn't tell when her family or friends were walking close to her. So I taught her how to do it. And I put it on first and I looked at her and I said, this is how you do it. And then we switched and I had her put the OrCam on and she put me in there. And she called me up the next day. She was hysterical. She said, Stu, you freaked me out. You wouldn't believe what happened. She said, when you did the facial recognition and you said my name, well, I got up the next morning, I got dressed, I stood in front of my mirror, and all of a sudden I hear your voice say my name. She said, it was like you were standing in the room.
That's great. You made her day, right? That is great. Yeah. Stu, it's been a pleasure talking to you. And
pleasure talking to you too.
And I hope I'm going to be around. I'm going away somewhere in the middle of July, but I hope I'm back to come and talk to you and see and try out what you've got, because it's absolutely amazing. So Brooksby, take heed. I want to give you all the answer to the last trivia question. If you remember, I asked you what was the date of Helen Keller's birth, and it's June 27th, 1880. There, that's information for you. And once again, 2020 is coming to a conclusion for this session. And Stu, it's been my pleasure talking with you today and learning something that I just knew nothing about. And remember, folks, if you have any eye problems, go to your doctors for all sorts of answers. But also do come to the July 18th show that Stu Flom is putting on at Brooksby. So you don't even have to worry about going anywhere. Anyway, I want to thank you, and I want to thank Deb Caller, who made your presence available to us. She does a beautiful job in selecting particular speakers for the low vision group. And I definitely want to thank the 919 TV station, who also does a fabulous job quickly, if we need it, setting up these wonderful programs. So thank you for everybody, and have a good day, and see you next month. Bye-bye.